something went wrong, but I guess, oh, okay, I guess we're good. Okay. Let's see. How we doing? I need to quickly do a couple things, which means just sharing this around. So you guys can actually watch it, maybe. Okay. Did that. Let's see what else. I'll get to you guys in just one sec, but it just takes a bit to make sure everything's actually going good. Pop that down to 144. Don't need this. Okay. I need as much CPU power as I can. Gotta get excuse me, all the resources I can so the computer can actually catch up to the great animation that we're making. Haha, a little bit. Hello guys, it's Star, Cookie, and Tomiko. How you doing? Doing good. It's New Year, same me. I got a different shirt. I got a shirt for Christmas, so that's about it. The rest of the New Year's party was basically what I explained last time too. It just wasn't a big whoa party, but yesterday it was New Year's Day party that got a little bit more interesting. Went to like a work party because it was like my mom's work, and it's like, hey, bring me along too. And it's like, so I didn't know nobody, and it was really awkward. So I had to just wait there for like 3 hours, and it was horrible. I sat next to the food. It was like inside of a house, one of the coworkers' house, and it was like just sat in the dining room table, and just kind of just occasionally just ate food and like just nodded and everything. I'm not good at parties. I remember like in like school, it's like I didn't want to go to prom. I never really went to those. The other kind of ones, I was just lame. But anyway, how we doing? Alright, about the Pixel Otaku channel. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know how to limit that. I think you know about what to do about that. It's close to spamming, but it's like, it's you, but then it's like, can't really, it's like trying to order the police to do something, and it's like, whatever. It's fine. I barely go on Discord anyway now, so, it just seems like a lot. Animated movie, yes. Future is now. And this is what I've been working on. It's 3D. Whoa! Look at that. It looks good at some angles. We'll see if the stream can catch up to what I'm doing. If it ever like dips to like when I do this and my hand is like bop, and then next frame is bop. So let me know when stuff like that happens. But it's been fun. With this is part of the train part of the yeah, gotcha. Just mute it. Yes, I should do that. Well, I guess I kind of muted the entire channel server, so except for like ats and mentions and stuff. So if you got me there, then I'll run to you. Yep. Boop boop boop. Nice. That was a hope that I wanted. I'm gonna use shading, so let's see if it. I don't really like the shading underneath here, but it's like it's kind of get what I get. So maybe just kind of stay in this one, I think. Let's talk about context. Dashi. I'm gonna go with that. This is part of a part of the movie. So I'm making a roughly 10-minute long video that I'm calling Derpy's first movie. I don't know if I'll make another one, but this one works well. The plot of it is that there's well, it's really complicated. It's hard to just say, which means I'm not confident in the whole thing. But it's about Derpy going on a journey across Equestria and beyond to save another like race of mongooses from the snakes. So Derpy has to get this diamond, which has this magical power, and then get it from Ponyville all the way over to the mongooses. But bad things happen along the way. So this is one part. This is the Ponyville train that I just modeled today, so it's not really perfect, and it's probably going to change a lot over time. So obviously this is only like one boxcar, and then there'll be multiple ones to make a train. But for now, this is just what I created just for basically this afternoon. So, but anyway, let's see how you guys are going. Making comic, cool. Making it yesterday, cool. Hope we do well on that. But this has been context as well. This is Blender. So this is the 3D program. It's open source, I think, or it's free. So it's a good beginner tool for me. Because I think in the past I've probably talked about this in other streams, but I had experience with other types of 3D software. Like I think I started with 3ds Max, and then I think in school once we had to do Maya for like a couple assignments. And then I went to like Digipin. Digipin is like near the Valve office, or it's like inside of Valve office, or like it's a program inside there. So it was like, I definitely have experience with 3D, but I've gotten very rusty over the years, or I'm just not used to the Blender architecture. And especially I just downloaded the newest version, stable version. So now I have 2.81a. So that's a thing. I'm not sure if it'll be super stable with what I'm doing, because I just downloaded it. So hopefully it should be okay. Let's see how you guys are doing. Boop boop. Google Sketch it first. Whatever you go. Oh yeah, the SketchUp. Yeah, because that has the axes. This is actually a light, so if I put the light bulb on, I turn it off and on. So I was using real-time lighting. That's why under here, these little things are having these nice cast undershadows. Not too happy with them. I'd like it to not be too much, but I had a lot of fun of trying to figure out. I think my favorite part of like modeling and everything is, or like 3D, is using the UVs. So I'm going to be using probably a lot of like 3D tech terms, and if you don't understand a lot of them, please let me know of what I need to explain. So this isn't exactly perfect, but it's like gets the job done enough that like when you put it to the camera and then render it. Okay, that's when it crashes. Okay, so don't render it. We'll see how. I can't move it. Okay, we'll let that off to the side and render. Then if it ever figures that out. Okay, it needs both of them to run. This is my first time streaming with Blender, so hopefully it doesn't. It crashed. Woo! All right, hang on a moment. What do I got? I got this one. There we go. Close. Okay. Let me ask some questions. Let me answer some of those. I was not finished. Great. How long did it take to make? Just this afternoon, really. It only took like around, when was it? I think we're back up. This is what model view with no textures looks like. So you can see like what's 2D and what's 3D. And it's the power of textures that allows me to have it looking really nice. So, boop, boop, boop. You're gonna draw a website. Ooh, I don't know about that. I'm putting a drawing. Yeah, it crashed. Okay, so I caught up to you guys. Looks like that's still going. Okay. So I could, for today, keep working on this. I mean, there's small little, like, macro adjustments to everything. Or I can start a new scene. I think that might be more interesting in a way, more than just, like, well, this little light bulb isn't the right scale. Let me... that's that much. Make it more of a circle. So it's like that much. I really liking how the UV setup kind of works. So let me see where I am. Let's go find it. And then I want this bit. So it's been really fun to like figure out how to do this more efficiently. Let's use that. So for this one, I wanted it to be more just using solid colors, and then like when I need it to be a different color, that would have like different sections. So I can see like it's only the model that has this shape to it, but then I add the transparent parts onto it. That this green part has this box around it. This is a wireframe mode, so it's been again, I'm not super good at this, so it's like I want it to be as low poly as possible while still having some form. So I did research a little bit, but this is all one model, so it's probably extruded in some parts, which means that there's pieces that are not in the best places. But I think this is my favorite part. So right now is doing all this, figuring out like all these white boxes, they go where did they go, and like what part is each face. So like I can say like, oh, this face needs to be this tint. So the way I set this one up was that these were like these solid tints that I could just make this box and then put each face that needed to be that tint, put it inside the box. But of course, if you kind of just do it a little bit blindly, they just kind of stack up, and it's like that doesn't really matter with UVs. So let's see. Boop, boop, boop. I've actually been working on this in theory since 2017-ish. I had the script for a bit earlier than that, but then when I actually started it was a bit later. But it's been off and on, and I just never really had the time to just sit down and actually work on it for like a whole day. So that's been this year's resolution, is to just work on it. So when it'll air is when it's done. I'm getting to a point when I just want to not worry about deadlines as much. So if I could just take my time on it in some way, then I'll be happy. But yeah, all these little bits here in this model, like where like each of these faces correspond, is fun. So I really like doing this because like it bridges the gap between the 3D model itself, which is just this bunch of geometry, and then you can add the texture, which adds more life and like gives it character. So I was like, I found that. So I made these UV maps in Flash. I was able to use the same. Yeah, I was able to use the same like parts and symbols. This is getting very. This is the most technical stream I've had. Where I was able to use the same art that I used in my Flash cartoon, and then I had just able to use these, and then I made like a UV map. So I was using instead of like the XYZ coordinates, is using these different technically different axes of U and V. Yeah. So it's been fun trying to figure out like what to do with this one. I think the first part that I did was the whole box. Let's see if we can figure that out. So I think my first try at this with the UV on the left side wasn't quite good, or I was trying to like I had it in a way where the faces in the UV section on the left were like the same size, like they were all just a bunch of boxes. And so I just made them like, I exported essentially this. So this was what the UV like unwrapping of that big box was, and it was just these boxes like this. And so I put all the textures on, and it like didn't look right, or like the scaling was wrong. So it was like, it was my first attempt just like this afternoon. It was like just really bad. So I was like, let me go back and try to figure it out. Then I figured out like, oh, well, why don't I just make them this size relative to the size of what they are? So it was like, well, this is only going to be like this size, and this is this, like the roof size only needs to be as big as, you know, like a pixel really, but I just made it bigger so I can put the UV faces on top. But I knew that the far wall needed most definition, so it needed the most quality to it, as well as these faces. So I tried to make them as big as possible, and then I had to make these. You know, it's a square. I had to fit everything else in, so it was like Tetris, just trying to put everything in. So let's see here. Any questions so far? Boop. Sorry guys. Let's see here. I have this other one. Oh, that's the block. So again, only I need the if it's a solid color, then I could just have like it's literally like 1 or so pixels tall. But I knew that this needed the most definition to be a circle, so I had that bigger. So I'm like framing it at like relative size more in like the different colors that I need, and then I can go into Blender and then just like unwrap it. This block is basically just the again, it's just the square on the left here is being mapped onto the geometry, but I'm just saying what face of each face, like what color it should be. And so for saving some space, I like use the same image UV texture, I suppose. So I could have had this lollipop thing as a separate texture, but I just put it on the same one because it was going to be on its own. So it's like it's just this flat pit like thing. So it didn't really need anything else. So that's as much progress that I got today. So how are we feeling on anything else then? Let's see. Does anyone want to maybe like zoom in on anything or question about anything else? So I want to move on to making a new scene. Because this is only just like one scene here. Like obviously this is only like, it's like a video game. It's like I have a different level for each little shot and everything. Or I can keep working on this one and just add like the background bits. So like the far bits of hiding a tree and a hill and all those. So I don't know what you guys would be more interested in. The other scene would be like a movie theater. And obviously I won't be able to finish that because 3D seems to take like 3 or 4 times the time to actually model. As compared to like drawing something, it's like you have to, there's a lot more steps than just drawing. Like I could have just drawn this and like, if I knew what I was doing and like everything, I could draw this in a couple hours. But to model it took like way more. So let's see here. Woohoo. So I do have more stuff to do on this one. It might be, I don't know. As well as I need to make this cart duplicate like over here on the right side. So the scene is, do I have that? So this is a 2D version. So I was able to use the exact art in the same colors from these, and then just make it into a 3D model. So there'll be more characters in here. I haven't gone through all of this yet, so I haven't really. None of this is cleaned up recently, so that's a 3D shot. So I'm gonna either like. I figured out how to get these 2D characters animated in the 3D environment as well. So it's gonna be it's gonna like double every time. Every time each character is gonna like double up the amount of time it takes to make each shot, because like I have to make each of them individually, so I can like render Derpy's animation for like 3 seconds, and then I have to do Orange Snake for 3 seconds, and then this character for 3 seconds. So it's like I have to render them individually to make them PNG sequences. So the PNG sequence has pictures with transparency to be able to allow animation. So the process of what I'm thinking about of doing is incorporating and combining the 2D art that I've made, and then making each of these as different assets. Like in the Blender, there's these 2D elements, which is essentially just a plane that's not have any depth to it. So imagine that this was like Derpy, and then I would have like a PNG sequence. So that would allow me to have animation, so I can like use these keyframes and like timeline to be able to. I don't have to like set up like each frame, but I might have to like label each frame individually. So it'd be like Derpy frame 1, Derpy frame 2. So I'll have to be able to do that. So that'll take a bit, and especially for longer shots. So so the whole movie obviously won't be 3D, but I think just for the shots where it'd be like more complicated, more like moving or camera shots, or like ones that would be hard to draw, or like using props or something. So like later I have like they go to a city, and then I want like Derpy to like slide down like a big hill, so I just got to use like a 3D prop and like slide down like a what do you call it, skateboard. So you gotta like skateboard down a city. So it's like having to draw that in like perfect perspective every time is doable, but it's like it might be in some ways easier to just make it in 3D. So I like incorporating this new technology into this too. So it's like I want to, you know, develop these more like maybe able to try to keep it as well as trying to keep the consistency and like the shading, so you can't really tell between it being 2D and 3D, as well as because the 2D shots might have parallax as well, but they're actually 2D. So I'm excited to figure out more stuff like this and adding more. Figured out which kind of had to pick my battles of which ones to actually make 3D geometry scenes. So obviously like doing every shot might be too much, and especially ones like 3 minutes that I've already made, that's gonna be tricky. And I've said like each character has to be individually like frame written out and then placed in a scene and then animated in a way that doesn't clip, and it's like it's gonna be might be more hard to do the ones that I've already animated. I knew that this one was gonna be 3D, so like basically from the start I've actually chose which shots to be 3D scenes. So I've chosen from a list. So so right now I'm just like basically actually just redoing the ones that I've already made, because in After Effects you can actually do 3D effects in After Effects, but it's basically just using the technology of using basically a plane, and then adding like the way that I did it was that I can use these transparent pictures and then just add them at 90 degrees and then make a cube. But that means that each cube needs to be made out of 6 planes. So, and they're not very easy to like assemble or make sure that everything works right, and everything's gets very slow with After Effects. So this will allow me to actually have very detailed geometry. Like, I wouldn't be able to make these kind of curves, even as simple as they are. Obviously I could, but just like looking at just many curves there are in here would just be a nightmare to make in After Effects. Because I would have to zoom in this far and then say like each of these squares here would have to be a different picture that it would have to like align and then angle at the right angle. And it'd just be like this micro thing of just trying to make this so hard. So the way that I did in After Effects was like having essentially like a front view version of like this part as being one picture, like the bottom bit, and then having like basically the side view looking like this for the bottom, and then kind of stitching them together. And it's like didn't include this like nice curve or like the actual geometry. Obviously more other objects will have more detailed geometry than this, but it's like just for like starters, because I knew that I already thought about this scene so long that it's just like I know what I want out of it, so it was easy to just go in here and go, okay, I know what I need, and then I just plopped in. So see some stuff. Let's see. Love seeing cartoon environments in 3D. I know, it's really cool. I like how I was able to figure out how to this line was actually like a necessity to be able to extrude to be able to get this block up here. So it was just like a happy accident that it's just like, oh yeah, I can use this like faces here and then use the UV to be able to say that I want this face here to be this color. So I was like, that was really fun. So I'm not really texture painting as much as just choosing where the faces and relations to themselves are. So like these two faces make up this side, and then I just positioned each point of these two faces like mat trap. So stuff like that. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. You're here. Hi, Jaden. Ah. Okay. Okay, cool. Nice to hear. Let's see here. I got an email. That's probably YouTube saying I'm live. So yeah, I probably could like add more geometry of like making these ledges actually 3D, but I think you probably won't like notice that as much as like these seats, like from a front angle or so, as it like, because I want the camera to like pan from like left to right, so I was gonna do this kind of motion, so you can see there's enough parallax, and then there'll be another train basically identical. I don't know for right now, but I'm basically gonna use this cart and then duplicate everything and then put it on this side. So I wanted to make sure that this all looked good first. Let's see. Yes, exactly what I was going for was that low poly, but like detailed-ish enough, cartoony, 3D aesthetic. Where I'll be incorporating 2D planes in a 3D environment. Is essentially perfect for Paper Mario. So I was like, yes. I'm really happy that this is started to take shape, and I'm excited to keep working on this. Yeah, I looked at the for reference. I looked at the NoClip website. So I looked up the Paper Mario maps, and then just looked at really scrutiny to figure out like if there's like a plate, you know, like in Paper Mario that's in your door. It's like had to think like a little bit differently, like zoom in on it and like count how many sides it is and go, huh, that's an octagon. This barrel is a dodecagon, But this thing is like a hexagon, so it's like there's no consistency, but it must be based on some kind of logic, right? And it's like, well, maybe the ones that are more closer to camera are more gons, or like more sided to be more polygons, and it's like not really, because the plate far away was like a dodecagon, but then like the barrel might be a hexagon, so it's like the barrel was actually closer to the scene, so it's like it was interesting. I have some pictures somewhere that I saved of from Paper Mario. Let's see where that is. This might take a bit. But it was basically just like zooming around to the different like environments and geometry of the Paper Mario maps. And then, yeah, I looked at this for reference. This is in Rogueport in Paper Mario That's in Your Door. And just looking at I have to like use different, you know, thinking skills and go, this is pretty much, I found this couch and I was like, this is what I want for my seats that you saw. I was like, okay, let me think, you know, the actual geometry of all this, like how does this all work? So I was like, is this one face or is it like two? You know, is this blue part a different face than this wood part? Or would it be just as simple to just make sure that your faces of it are lined up? But it might be easier to just make it, you know, two faces at that point. But just looking at the actual geometry of like just this kind of angle here, and like just look at this like up here and then just over and then it's flat. And then I took another picture, but I'll make sure I go the right way though. Come on, load it up. Yeah, see, it was a different picture than I thought. Boop, boop. Use mood boards. Oh yeah. I remember making mood boards in college. Not as much as I actually did. Hi Padre. I'm trying to find a picture, but no, it's not really showing up. But anyway, it's like a different angle that showed like the side of the couch. And so I was able to look at that and go, okay. Now I got a different angle to be able to use as a reference for, so okay, I found that picture. But it was basically what that was. Let's see. Boop boop boop. Yeah. How you doing? Let's see here. So I could do like a little demonstration of like adding a new thing. That'd be fun. Because there's not much like if I had to like create a new thing, it would get like a box and it'd be like an untextured box for like a half hour. So let's do that. So let's add maybe a hill and then maybe a tree and a mountain. So let's see if we can do that. So let's go back to where we were. So I want basically this background. So I can take these art assets and then essentially redo what I've been talking about. So, yep. Oh yeah. Trying to improve my art too. It's it's going somewhere. Now it's going into these 3D bits. Let's add a new scene. So now I'm back in Flash. This is where it gets confusing. So I want to get in here and then take all the background assets. So I'm going to take that out and basically going to recreate this. So I have the sky already. So I'm going to copy and paste all these bits here. With this small box that I have here, and then we'll see if I can actually, there we go. Let's see. Obviously I haven't really planned on how to do this yet, but maybe I'll have to figure that out along the way. So trying to figure out like what I need. These might need to be different pictures actually. Maybe this tree could be here. Trying to think like how big they need to be and how the boundary boxes are. So I'm gonna need as much definition on closer enough things. So, and then I'll take this green and then make a box. So again, it doesn't need to be big as long as the actual relative size of this doesn't equate when it needs to be a solid color. So that's where that logic that I'm thinking of is going. Let's see. Hello, Fluttershy. How you doing? Just gonna make this texture thing. I could have. What else do I need? Maybe these clouds. Maybe it'd be a different picture. So I could have maybe the clouds and sun in a different UV map. Let's make sure these are all in the same place. I'll have to save this, so I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with that. So hang on just a tick. It's all fine, but I have to like save this and it's gonna, I don't know where it's gonna go. But basically I'm making this into a PNG transparent picture. Okay, we're good. Then I want to put it in here, in here, in here. Because who knows what kind of spoilery bits you're gonna see in here. Yeah, I can't really show that much. So this is train background bits UV. So I saved that as a picture. So now when I need to make these as planes, I'll have them as a nice already compiled thing. So let's see if we can do this on the fly here. So I need a plane. Just a plane. It's a plane. Let's see where it is. It's way down there. So I might need to have this as if you're prone to like all this kind of scrolling, I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we're gonna have to have X scale Y. So this is all based on where the camera is. So let's rotate it on the Y. Nope. Let's go rotate it on the Z. Nope. So I'm not used to all these tools yet. So this is why it takes a bit. It's like just do it. So there we go. Make sure there's no clipping, but that's good. So this is like our ground plane now. So this is all like just playing the camera, and I'm used to how this kind of works. So I'm just checking to see if the camera works, and then going from there. So I'm going to use this plane, and then I can give it a material. So I'll do that. New material. Guess I should have asked, did any of you guys actually Blender gurus or anything like that? Like I did. That's the thing. Ha. So shift A. I'm gonna add a image. Nope. Image texture. So it's there. So I'm gonna open. Ah, hang on. Where is it gonna open? Right there. Right in front of me. Hang on. I need to find it. Here's my UV map. Background. There we go. Sorry about that. So I added the picture of the background picture that we just added. All 3D's beyond me. So now I can add it to. This is where it gets more than just nice and complicated. This is like when it gets into nodes. And I can show you the node of the other one. This box. This is where it gets real fun. Is that you get to start. The only way to have like transparency, like I said, I found is to do these different node blocks. That each of these are linked up in a way that tells Blender how to go with these kind of things. So thankfully this one doesn't have transparency, so it should just be these nodes. But we should go in, unwrap. Oh, it's not scaled right. Where do we get the scale? Oh, that seems right. It says it doesn't want to unwrap it unless it has a good scale. So that's not good. Basically, because that's not something that I thought would happen. Something here like gets too complicated. I'm not sure what's going on. Scale here? Nope. I have to like work on the fly now. This is where it gets bad. Oh, there it is. So now the scale should be similar to where I want it. Unwrap it. Yes. And unwrap. Or maybe smart unwrap? Smart UV unwrap. Boop. So now we got that. And then hopefully it should be able to move this around. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Play Gary's mod? Cool. Oh, I get you. Background noises? Yes. I'm not alone. Let's see. Basically, I just get the square and then put it in there. Or I could just change the base color, but there we go. So now that should be green, and there we go. So now we got a nice hill. You can kind of see it through there. There we go. We did one bit. The scale of this needs to be longer. Scale X. Basically just need to see like which way it goes. Scale X. So there we go. This needs to be. This guy is further behind and bigger. Not that big. Okay. That's where it gets weird with that. Okay. It's not a good angle. It's pretty good. Because now we can add another plane. Right there. So this will be the mountain. Or the mountain ranges. So we might need... thinking about how I want to do this. Because I could have it be... Oh. Rotate Y. No. Rotate X. There we go. And then, where's that to be? Full 90. So I got that. 0. See where it is. Okay. So we're going to need this to be stretched out, but then it might be easier in some way. Maybe I'll put a texture on and then see where that goes. But I want probably the scale to be, let's go inside scale X, nope, scale, scale Y, nope, scale Z, yeah, okay, how about scale big, scale small, just make sure that this sort of fits. Scale X long. Maybe not that long, but we'll see where that goes. So now we do the same thing again, but now we need transparency. So here we go. No, thank you. I will do the same thing by adding a new material. Disappear. Okay. So the fun thing is that now we need to do the image texture again, but this time I'm going to need my notes of how to do this. So the color goes into base color, and then alpha goes into mix shader. So I need transparent and mix shader. So I just did this today, so I have to make sure if I'm doing this right. I haven't memorized all of this yet. I need the transparent BSDF. I'm not sure how anything actually works, but the alpha goes into either the factor. I think, let's see, this is where I'm pretty sure that this mod works. So the alpha goes into the factor, and then the translucent goes into the middle shader. No. Is that right? No. This doesn't connect to anything. The alpha goes into this shader, and then this doesn't connect. This one does, I think. Okay, so it's one step at a time. So This color goes into base color. Do I have that? Yes. This alpha goes into factor. This alpha goes into factor. Okay. And then this BSDF goes into bottom shader. This goes into bottom shader. Leaving this one to go into here. I'll have to open a new picture, so hang on. Or do I? Nope, we're good. Basically I just added the picture onto there. Okay. Good to see you. I notice this is either really interesting to some people and very not to others. But that's not transparent because now we have to go into here and say blend mode is alpha clip. You don't know how long it took to figure out, like, you get this all right and it's like you watch the YouTube videos, like, you set this all nice notes up and it takes forever. But the only way to actually get it is to not do it in node mode, but to go into this separate thing down here. And then you just gotta click this one button and then it works. So, but now I should be able to go in, say this, and then smart UV, check. I should be able to go into here maybe. Go into here. Say that that's not the same. It is. Great. Okay. So I need to be able to see this more. Let's see. So now I need to get this block to equal the mountain. So I can either just scale it and then see where that goes. So I can see that is rotated, I think, wrong way around. So I'll just flip to 180, and then I can go into the edges and then just move them in place. So scale Y. I don't know, I've been watching like these bunch of Blender tutorials anyway. So I've been feeling like I'm able to do those kind of, you know, like, oh, let's just tell me what I'm doing the whole time. Like I know how to do a Blender tutorial now. Let's go to edges. So I select these two and just kind of move them down a little bit. So basically we just made that mountain range now fit inside there. Tab out. Let's go back to modeling layout. So now we can go back to camera. We can say that looks pretty good. So either I could just copy paste it, or I can make another face and then just make it the same thing. I don't know how that's gonna work. Can you? I think I made it so you can do that. Let's go to edge mode. Select this face. Extrude. Along the X. Ooh, okay. Okay. And then we need to grab X and just slide that over. So now we got two things. We have to unwrap. Let's get both of these. UV, smart unwrap. Do it. I'll have to do this again, but now there's two of them. So. Sometimes it doesn't let me click it. There we go. I'll do both of these and just do the same. Nope. Rotating 180 scale. And then I'll fit this back again. Scale X, slide, scale Y, tall. Notice that the mountain upside down. Scale, rotate the other way. And then we just scale X, short, scale Y, short. Scale Y, short, scale Y, short. This is where, you know, this takes longer than be able to do this. But now it should be loopable, and now it's now twice as long as it was. So, aha! So I go back to layout. See that? So I got this. Let's scale Y, scale X, scale Z. Let's make that, bump that up. So that's not really the middle, but it should be enough. Enough for now to get the mountains in there. Okay. It's pretty cool. So now we can just make this even further beyond, like that. So now, if I can get this in a good position, then it should work like that, where the distance is actually real. So it'll seem like it's actually farther away now. So that's good. Scale Z, tall. Scale Y, long. So these need to be, let's get that mountain. And then drop that down. Basically, when you unselect everything here, or if you start sliding, then there should be real distance. It's basically making like a plane here. Obviously, we could still play with these and figure them out, but I think just by having it be, because with the 2D version, I have to just like pretend that this means what this is, but it's like, oh, I can actually, you know, play through it and go, oh yeah, this feels like that's farther away now. So that's pretty cool. Hello, Miguel. Whew. Let's add a tree and then we'll finish this. Finish this for tonight, and maybe I'll probably have a short toaster time. Let's add another plane. So that's true. Yeah, I'll have that for toaster like to talk about kappa. I don't know about that. How much fun that is to talk about. Rotate. Z. Nope. Rotate Y. Nope. Rotate X. This way. 90. Okay. Let's just put it in. Let's add shading. This is why I put everything on one picture, so it doesn't need to be a whole bunch of pictures for like each of these, you know. So basically we have like one picture for the plane here, the mountain, and this tree. So I can just use this and go background, color, boop, there we go. Transparent, here we go. Let's make it transparent. Okay. So I'm gonna need the mix shader. And then the transparent. And then we just have to do it again. So alpha goes into something, and then I don't know. I can't remember. Because this is what I have to like remember. It's like this doesn't make any sense. Color goes into color. Good. Alpha goes into factor. Like these aren't things that I can like easily like make mnemonics for. BSDF goes into middle shader. What else? BSDF for principal, BSDF goes into bottom shader. So I'll take this out, put in the bottom shader, put this into this one. I know that one. That's the easy one. And then say off clip. Yay! Okay. Okay. Now we go in, select the face, unwrap. It's literally a one one face thing, but doesn't really need to unwrap, but I guess it's just easier to do it like that. So it's upside down probably because the way that I initially set it was like that. So the way that I rotated it with the first plane was like that, so that's why it was upset a bit like that. Sometimes it doesn't let me to click on it again. I think sometimes that works, and then I wanted to move it just like down a little bit. Okay, so now we got this dang tree here. Grab. See? The problem is that it doesn't like lie flat, so it has to be like actually, it's hard to see, but it's like literally above the canvas a little bit, but that's just because this isn't a flat piece there. If we go out, go into here, go to there. So now we got a tree. So I can just move this, maybe scale it a little bit, which means I have to go back out and then put it back on the ground up to where it clips. Grab Z. No, this isn't. It's not like. All right, it's not an angle, so it has to be like in the right place. But it has to be good enough to tell you that this is how you do this kind of magic with this. So now I can add these trees literally anywhere if I wanted in the space. It'll actually make sense. So that's pretty fun. And then I just gotta go into this mode. And then just make sure that's actually, I have to fly a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough to go, whoa, it's floating. Go back out. Can't see that tree. Let's move that over there. So there we go. So we just added this plane, we added a mountain and a couple trees. How about that for an hour? Yeah, so the rest of the train, this whole box art took like, I don't know how many hours. But it's actually pretty quick. It's quicker than you actually think. For like an afternoon, really. Basically just sitting down and just knocking this out really quick. It's basically like there were only like a couple actual elements here. The hardest part was just actually figuring out the UVs and trying to figure out how to texture it. Because the way that I had it like in my test one that I had a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago actually, I think I did a little bit different, or I did a different operation to do the transparency. The transparency was actually using the add-on import image as plane, and I think somewhere in there like must have been a different operation than what I've just done, where I made a plane and then added a texture on top of it. So I think with the add-on of add image as plane, must have made it already opaque or transparent, so it already had the transparent part already, or like it must have just added it through that process. So that's why today it was like, why didn't it work when I made a plane and then add a texture onto it and then it's didn't have the transparency? So might have already done like the where it said like you click on a tree and then in world here. And it's got alpha clip. So I could do the other alphas, but I think alpha clip kind of works good. So it's got backface culling. The culling deletes things when you can't see it behind it. So that one's the only one that has it. There you go. But yeah. So this is only just making the set. And then I talked about the I'm gonna include like each character will also be a plane as well, where there'll be a PNG sequence where we actually animate and animate in real time as well. So like on this 3D set, like if I do the playhead like animate timeline, it'll start to like go through each picture, and if each of those are lined up, then it'll animate essentially. So what do you mean by an end is to say that I'm actually out of time. So I only plan on doing these streams for like only a couple, like 1 hour essentially. So I'll like tidy up the library and figure some stuff out. But regardless, I think we're out of time now, and I finished what I wanted. So now I got this whole set, and I can render this as a picture, but probably not now because it'll probably crash on stream. Because that's actually doing thousands and millions of computations to actually render this picture. So somehow I was able to just do this all in real time, where I can just like rotate the camera really quick. But as soon as it needs to like take one screenshot, or like just take a screenshot of what this looks like, it has to like think way harder. And I'm not using the actual, this is viewport shading. Like I could add the final lighting, which adds a little bit more shadows and depth to things. So looks a little bit nicer. So I'll have to add the characters into it, and then see if there's any other little stuff I can add onto here. And it should be mainly almost done with this set. Can't think of anything else. Or I didn't really add anything else to the After Effects version, which is somewhere, but I don't know where you'll be able to find it. I don't think I made that bit public. Because with the After Effects, I was thinking like when I was streaming, like I thought like I couldn't stream After Effects because it was going to be too computer intensive. But literally, I just did Blender and it's fine. It was just when I took a picture at the screenshot of rendering it that it actually exploded. So that's good to know. So this and like putting on here actually looks better. So that's cool. We'll have to figure out the lighting. Figure out how to do that. Otherwise, I think we're good. Happy New Year. Yeah. I'll go to Zombie Night to drink some water. Just a little bit. So, thank you guys for coming. Content's done, but I'll have a little bit of a chat for like maybe like a couple minutes. Probably shorter than last time. So, thank you guys for watching. And let me get that water. Okay, yeah. Happy New Year. Now that I can actually say that, is a new year for me. I guess my resolution list is already going really well. I've already worked on this, so happy about that. And sad part is that this particular scene that I'm doing is only for like 2 or 3 seconds in the final video, so yeah. But that's kind of sacrifice you have to get, I guess. So yeah, that's why I was like, well, can't I started to like think of the other shots that I have, like I basically broke everything up into like different chapters. So like in each chapter is like a different place. So like there's the train chapter, and then there's the other chapter, and then the other chapter. So it's like the ones that I've already made are gonna be not tricky, but like probably like frustrating to like figure out how to make them into 3D. Because a couple of the animations are gonna be, they're not flat. Like with the tree, I tried to talk about that the tree didn't have a flat base, so it couldn't be a plane and actually sit on flat on the ground floor in geometry. So a couple of stuff like that had to be reanimated with stuff like that. But on the whole, it should be in a way simpler, but it's just gonna be as well as time consuming anyway to like to take a 2D shot that I've already made and then make it 3D. Might take as much time. It's hard to say, but anyway, Kappa. Let me get more water. My throat's still. Yeah, I checked the video that I'd set to Made for Kids, and it's as time of like a couple hours ago I checked, and it was the comments are still there, and I've been able to search for it, or at least it shows up when I literally just YouTube search Yoshi Greenwater, and then I scroll down, and then it's the kid Made for Kids video is there, and it has comments, and likes and dislikes are still there. So it's like, obviously I'm still able to live stream with comments or chat with you guys. So it's hard to think that it's actually in effect right now, you know, when it's like nothing's changed at all. So there still are on my YouTube studio, and all of my like a lot of my older videos, like around 18 to 20%. That's really specific. Around 20% of my videos were flagged as being made for kids. So I have not gone through and reviewed or like checked them to be yes or no. So I guess I'll have to do it eventually. But like for right now, it's like it still doesn't seem on yet. It's really weird. To like look at that and then remember what the limitations were, and then to still see them on. So that's why I'm like a little bit confused. But I guess it's a happy confused, because then it's not affecting me. That I'm sure you can still look for that video and still find it. So it's not like it's deep down, you know, unsearchable at all. Like I literally searched my channel name and I found it. So as well as everything's still there. So video in question is the YouTube Shorts volume, newest one. The one with the Meowth on the thumbnail. That one I set to kids. So but yeah, all the other ones, like the ones that were automatically flagged by the robot, where they scanned every video and then this just like flagged it. It said that it was made for kids just based on the thumbnail and maybe the title alone. I guess because I haven't said it yet, but I guess we're good. That all that's worrying is weird, because it's like it's not like nothing's wrong. Like what's going on? Like it's almost becoming more scary now that what will happen if something actually does happen. So yeah, I don't want to like, you know, declare like, yeah, victory for everything, but it's like it's still a looming threat. But like, I must have watched a video recently. I watched a copy video today, and it's like, yeah, don't worry. Unless you're like a super popular, like they'll go after FTC and COPPA will go after the most popular or highest offensive first, or that's what they're going to be targeting for right now. So against little old me, wouldn't be on their radar for right now. So and yeah, it'd be as easy as a thing to like, you know, look at like statistically from like 10,000 to 50,000 subscriber channels and go, well, what do we got here, you know, instead of like filtering for the million or 10 million plus. You know, and 10 million sub channels that I've never heard of. It's like, how is that even possible? But that seems to me maybe what they're gonna do, but honestly it's the government trying to figure out a internet thing, so it's probably less threatening than what it's actually gonna be. So it's probably just adding all the limitations and giving COPPA and FTC giving themselves the power to actually police things rather than actually being really active about it. That'd be another thing, you know. Like, I can say, like, I'm gonna delete your channel, but if I don't, then, you know, I still have the ability to in some way. That's a metaphor. But yeah, it seems like written law and actions are going to be different. So that's where we go, little lawsuits and everything. Let's get it political. Okay. But especially because it's also like a U.S. based law. It just happens to, in some way, affect me. Being American, but I can see like it's going to be really tricky to actually enforce this as much as I think that it'll actually be. Like whether I actually get a benefit from doing all this is probably going to be less than I'll probably think, and probably like a couple months, like after they do a couple big offenders, then I can just like fizzle out and never use the system again, or like enforce it in any way. So, I guess for this second, I guess we're okay. I'll continue to make my my newer stuff, at least for now, to make them not made for kids. Like that seems to be the general one. These videos aren't exactly. It's hard to say because it's whatever they're ruling or like what their definitions are stupid. Or to be frank, that it's just like yeah, you can describe, you know, like a sport as you know, a bunch of players competing to achieve a goal of some sort, and be like, well, did you mean baseball or did you mean hockey? Did you mean soccer? And it's like, how many other sports can that describe is the problem. So that's where it gets like weird, especially with like my stuff. It's like it's using copyrighted-ish characters from a kids-ish cartoon, but I'm using it in a way that's not meant to educate, but more like entertainment in a way. It's hard to like, you know, as soon as we started that to like define all these things, like what these are, then it gets more messy of just what everything is going on. So but what else? I think that's about it actually. What else I want to talk about that? Yeah, that's why I'm keeping short. So I think that's about it. I guess we'll I don't know if I'll do a stream of Derpy Movie next time, but definitely have a stream for next week. Because I know that this one was probably polarizing to think of whether it's going to be entertaining to watch. I know for me it is like, well, especially for me because I'm actually doing it and like having to think through this and problem solve through all this, while people who wouldn't have any clue of what I'm doing would be less involved, I guess. So I think that's about it. Hi Ellie. Common Pig. I'll look it up. I'm not sure what that is. Probably watch it off stream. On my own time I'll find out. I think for now I'm gonna wait. I think that's my heater is probably being nice. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. So thank you guys for watching. First stream of the year or second, I don't know. It's 1.5 of whatever this is. So if you had fun, great. Let me know if you didn't have fun, and then maybe we can do more general maybe art thing next time, or we could do another maybe like a short animation or art thing or something. I was actually thinking of trying to do like an art thing that's like more long form, I guess, in some way. So instead of doing like the little sketches that we did on New Year's, it was going to be it will be like maybe make like a Mad Lib thing, and then spend the time to make a big one picture, I guess. Well, that's kind of what we did with the other, like the alien one. That was like a Mad Lib one where we kept adding things on top. Maybe something like that. As well as the like Pictionary or like other types of drawing games. Those we up to. So on my Discord, I have a I don't know what you call it, a place to submit some YouTube stream ideas. So if you'd like to help the channel, you can join the Discord. It doesn't help me in any way, but it'd be nice to just hang out with you guys, and then you'll know when streams are up and other bits, and you can help with the suggesting different ideas. So it's okay to like post things, you know, whenever you want or whenever it comes to you, because I think that's more fun, and I can probably better because then I can actually think of it longer. So yeah, whatever, it's fun. I'm overwhelmed by the actual support in the Discord. Just how many people actually joined. So thank you all. Like with that, I'll wrap this up now. So got a little plug there. Actually, it's this button. There it is. So my door's actually rushed, and I gotta do some more stuff around the house. So gotta not really clean up, but okay. Well, I did my laundry. Sounds good. I did my laundry, guys. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, see you next week. That's a good way. So next week, I think I'll keep this schedule with the 2-week. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I'll have to like actually think about it more to actually change it again. And I'll let you probably have like a month lead in before I actually do it. So try to make it not as a surprise for you guys, so you guys know. That's what happened like last time. I think it was like a 2-month thing or something. It was like a 2-month wait, like when I announced it or like thought about it, and then actually changed the schedule. So I'll let you guys know before actually changing like the schedule, whether or not. It's actually like the other little thing was that I thought that with Copynet it would just eliminate comments from live streams altogether. So that's why I wanted to like think about different streaming things like Twitch or Picardo. Obviously they're still on the table if I wanted to, but I feel like these have on YouTube have more presence with more people or more people to join in. So if I go like on Picardo, then there'll be no one there, or even Twitch. So but that's still a thing that I could do. So it's like it's hard to, you know, say no to that, but it'd be something. Anyway, see you next week. There we go. Thank you guys. See you next week. Did I say that? Probably said everything like 14 times. Okay. Bye-bye.